Welcome to Audible Sportscast, your home for all things sports. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. We have Brett, we have Jeff, we have Cody. How is everybody doing?
Good.
I'm doing all right.
That is great to hear. And before we get into the football, it's big Super Bowl for the weekend. We're doing, for a second year in a row, we're doing the Madden Super Bowl Championship Tournament, whatever you want to call it, between Brett and I. Cody will be there too to give fun trivia facts and talk. And, that will be on Twitch. That'll be twitch.tv/Fro7. Everything will be linked in our social medias on where to watch it. That'll be 7:30 Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern. But just look for a link on our socials. Twitter, Audible SC, Instagram, Audible Sportscast. All those two things are always linked down below in the information box thingy. But so Super Bowl weekend, we're finally here. Arguably, not even arguably, these have been the best two teams in the NFL this year. And it's time to talk Super Bowl.
And I agree with you on that statement. And I've been a Philly hater all year. But they are the two best, at least offensive teams in the league.
Really good O-line, and then Chiefs defense that really relies on their
pressure.
Their D-line.
You could say the same for Philly, though, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Eagles' defense overall is from head to toe is just, I think I said this 2 weeks ago, that the 49ers have been the best defense this year, but the Eagles, and in some ways the Chiefs too, or not the Chiefs, just their sacks, but the Eagles have been one step right behind them the whole time. So it's
Yeah, my whole thing is, I think, yes, the secondary of the Eagles, I think, is better. But the linebackers, I got to give that to the Chiefs. I think that they have way better linebackers. Both of their guys could be the main guy on a team. And then, I guess D-line, you'd have to go Philly on depth, but I guess it varies. I think Chris Jones is playing better than anybody on the Phillies defense, so arguably better than anyone in the league on defense. And if you have playoff Frank Clark show up again.
Oh yeah, plus Chris Jones had probably his best playoff game ever.
For a big guy, they'll move him to edge. They'll move him anywhere they find a weak spot on the line, trying to exploit.
He's always been one of those top guys, just always overshadowed, I guess, by Aaron Donald.
And other players like Khalil Mack, Bosa's. He's just not as flashy because he's a big guy. That's really what it is, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But let's talk about this game. We've already said it, both kind of how both these teams are. As things currently stand, looking at where these teams are kind of favored, we have the Kansas City Chiefs being 1.5 point underdogs, if you can call them underdogs. It's a Super Bowl, but 1.5 point not favored. I guess Eagles favored by 1.5 points, to better say that. But does that seem right to you guys? Eagles kind of have been the favored teams pretty much since the lines came out.
I say no, but that goes to me being a Philly hater, I guess. No, I just think I know they think that they're going to be able to shut Mahomes down because he doesn't have Tyreek Hill and could be out. He'll just kill him on short little checkdowns to Kelsey and the other guys. I don't know. Mahomes would have to throw 3-4 interceptions for them to lose this game, I think.
Yeah, I like the narrative of the Chiefs winning, but I also think the Eagles can win.
Oh yeah, this is.
If I'm going against the narrative that I see, I'm gonna pick the Eagles.
Yeah, I I agree that this is definitely a very hard game to pick on the outcome. And whenever I kind of have situations like that, I always think, okay, who's at home? Obviously, Super Bowl doesn't really matter. Okay, well, what's the quarterback situation? What's the head coach situation? For both of those things, you got to give the edge to the Chiefs. So it's like I'm kind of, I'm leaning towards Chiefs, but this is, like I said, this is a very tough game. I mean, these are the two number one seeds. You don't always get the number one seed in the Super Bowl. You've gotten it a lot more as of late, but it's honestly something somewhat really doesn't happen a lot.
No. Yeah, I was more or less joking, though, because how it's at the State Farm, whatever they call it, stadium.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff, and
hey,
how Andy Reid's playing his former team. That's kind of the narrative I was talking about.
Yeah, Kelsey Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the Kelsey is that's cool for like the families involved, not just them.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's never happened, so I'm sure the parents, they've gone, because they don't play each other that often, being in different conferences, etc. The parents don't get to go to see them both play very often. Now it's in the Super Bowl, so that's cool.
It is pretty cool, and both of these guys are top one at their positions.
Fun
so
fact,
it's even better.
Jason's wife, super pregnant, so they are flying the OB doctor out in case the baby happens, and he's joking he wants it to happen during the game so he has a super baby.
That'd be,
and I believe he's dead serious. Like, I think he thinks it'd be super awesome, so that's what he wants.
I mean, there is a potential that this is Jason Kelsey's last year. I mean, you never know, but
this might be with him playing his brother. There might be this.
Like, imagine he goes out, wins the Super Bowl, has a kid the night of Super Bowl.
It's like his fourth kid. Though.
It's fourth kid, second Super Bowl, but still, it's pretty cool.
No, yeah,
that'd be a good way to end it.
Well, he's also playing his brother. That's I think I don't know. That to me, I think with him having one already, and his brother having one now, it could go either way.
That's true. Both Kelseys got the ring.
It's interesting. It's them talking during the last week or so overshadowed the Pro Bowl enough for me. I didn't even care.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, yeah, it was flag football, but at the same time, it honestly seemed more competitive than when they still had pads on, to be honest.
When someone like Huntley makes the Pro Bowl, I can't even. I lose. Because he's not even and I'm going to use a quarterback from around my parts, Wisconsin here, former. He's not even like oh my God, now I'm blanking on him. Of Matt Flynn. I wouldn't even put him as good as Matt Flynn, and he makes the Pro Bowl. And
that's what happens when you let fans choose.
But how can the fans possibly? I don't know.
I mean, I've seen in past too that it's. I mean, some players are worse than fans. Like
let me use an example. I can understand T.J. Watt making it, but because they like him. He had an off year. You know what I mean? Because he's injured.
Yeah.
But somebody who doesn't have a big name making it, I don't know. But I'm not going to go off on a tangent and say the NFL's scripted because I don't believe that. So, too much human error involved. You can't manipulate that enough.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Kind of back to that Pro Bowl, it looks like, it's kind of staying with how it is. Goodell came out and said flag football's here to stay. Fun fact, it was actually Russell Wilson, supposedly, that said that they should move to or suggested the flag football concept. So
it's just backyard stuff, and I don't want to watch that on TV. So it's.
I never watched never watched the games. I mean, they've done challenges, but I like the good old fashioned quarterback challenge. Like, see who can throw the furthest.
Yeah, that's like the only interesting part. To
I
me.
don't need to see two defensive backs try to block balls when you're throwing it in these little holes. I get that skill too.
Well,
but
they didn't. Did they do that again this year? I only saw the precision.
No,
passing one.
I know. I'm shooting examples.
Well, I mean, there was like the water balloon toss thing too. They did like. I guess none of the players like that.
And why do I want to see it also? I mean, I saw some clips. Why do I want to see how many catches the linebacker from Buffalo can make?
The punt.
Yeah.
The punt. That was interesting. I'm not gonna
Interesting.
lie.
No, I know, but
I think the problem is, I mean, when you look at the NBA All-Star game, that's actually coming up here in a couple weekends, but for the longest time, they had 3-point contests, dunk contests, like even their like skill showdown thing they have was always so much superior to the NFL that they keep trying to change it.
Even that's a clown show.
I mean, any more today, but that's more players aren't wanting to do it. If the players would be willing to do it, it'd be a lot more exciting.
It only becomes entertaining again when you have, let's say, two guys in the dunk contest who are everybody wants to see, or the 3-point contest. If you get, you know what I mean? But the 3-point contest isn't. It used to be a big thing until now. Everybody shoots threes. Now it doesn't. I don't.
Well,
it's
they've
not
added,
what it is.
That extra layer to it. But I agree. And everyone wants to see Zach LaVine, the Zion, the Aaron Gordon's in the dunk contest, and they just won't do it.
You know that I like who's going to be in it. So
what, Mac McClung, the G League player, first ever G League player to be in the dunk contest? Yeah, he has some crazy dunks, but
and he's a small guy, which that's what makes it more crazy. And since he is well traveled. He's been on few NBA teams, G League and normal, but
yeah, but he's still like we saw what.
But maybe he's more of a street ball guy that we should be watching dunk because he's not quite good enough to be on an NBA team, but he's still good. But he's a great dunker.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah.
If it works, then they'll probably be inviting more. Street ball players than NFL players, or not NFL, NBA players, since they don't want to do it. So I think that'd be cool, I guess, even though TNT used to have like a dunk contest show or something back in the day.
But back to the Pro Bowl, when the Pro Bowl will be it'll be even worse once somebody blows their knee out during flag football, because that will happen. Somebody will sustain a non-contact injury. It's impossible to not.
You mean like Myles Garrett almost like broke his toe doing those skill showdown things or whatever?
Yeah, I'm thinking worse than the toe, but yes.
I mean, we'll see what happens. Pro Bowl.
It's sad. I mean, I guess that's just the way it is.
Yeah, but let's talk more. Let's get back to this bowl that's way more important than the Pro Bowl, the Super Bowl. I mentioned currently as it stands, Eagles -1.5 favorite. The over under right now is 50.5. Is that a number both of you think?
I'll be over that, I think.
Over?
Yeah, I agree.
Chiefs can still score. Like here, I'm going to use the scenario Mahomes throws 3 picks. They'll still score 28 plus points, even with him throwing 3 picks, probably. It all depends. I guess it could be a defensive battle. I don't see it being that way, but
I mean, looking at how these teams stand, they have been some of the more explosive, high-scoring teams this year. I mean, Chiefs last game, didn't have the best game, but still.
Yep.
I don't know. I like how the teams are balanced. I mean, I give the upper hand on the offensive side to the Eagles, but I still like Patrick Mahomes and his ability, so I'm not going to rule him out. And he's got speed at receiver, so.
Oh yeah.
Even with Tyreek gone.
Yeah, and they were banged up in the conference game, and now they get 2 weeks rest, and you get
but
everybody.
you don't know if Hardman and Tony are going to play.
even if you don't, you still have plenty of other guys.
Yeah, you still have MVS, and then you have the rookie, and you have
Sky Moore.
Juju.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think with a guy like Patrick Mahomes, you got Kelsey. You don't need superstars around. Just get them. We saw it in the Super Bowl against the Bucks. Patrick Mahomes was doing his best to make plays, but guys like Tyreek Hill were dropping the ball. So it's like, a player. You just need guys to catch the ball. You don't need super fast guys. You just give guys a chance to make plays.
I could beg to differ. Look at, is Tua really that good, or is it because two super fast guys?
Well, with Tua, it's a whole bigger problem than if he's good or not.
No, I know, but it's.
He's probably gonna have Alzheimer's here in 10 years.
But either way, even if let's say Hardman plays,
That's
he's not.
true.
Hardman's no Tyreek Hill for them. He just never panned out to be. I mean, it's pretty hard to be a Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's. I don't see either team taking real big shots. There'll be a few home run shots, but it's going to be a lot of dink and dunk, I think, from both. Probably.
I mean,
the Eagles' key is rushing. If the Eagles rush for 200 plus with quarterback, running back, we'll see wide receiver there. They'll probably win that game.
So, like, the big reason why I think the Eagles are going to win is I think they will take a lot of big shots to, like, Smith. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that makes the Eagles so, like, overall good is the fact they have this amazing run offense. But hey, you're gonna load up the box. We have Devonta Smith on one side. We have A.J. Brown on one side. Oh yeah, we have this Quez Watkins dude that can run like a 4.19 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah, but then the Chiefs have Travis Kelce, who's always wide open.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, he usually finds a way to be open. I mean, and I guess there's potential with Juju and MVS to have huge games. I don't see it, but they've done it before. Not with necessarily Mahomes, but other quarterbacks. So.
I mean, it's a Super Bowl. If you're gonna make plays, now's the time to do it. Who knows what these teams may be? I mean, when you look at the Eagles, they have been in blowouts all throughout the playoffs. Who knows? They might be saving some stuff for this game.
This could be one of those games, though, too, where both quarterbacks are running for their lives.
That's true.
And I know their offensive lines are good, but if there's some defenders that you can't really ignore, so.
That's what makes Jalen Hurts scary, though, is like the D-line will just rush and he just sprints up the middle. Like,
yep.
There's very few quarterbacks that are able to do that.
And Mahomes can't do that as well at the moment. So
yeah.
No, but he can literally be running to his left and throw it down the field 80 yards.
I don't know.
This one's really a toss-up. I mean,
It is. I mean, and that's what you want from a Super Bowl. You want a good game between two good teams. Like the fan perspective, to say the least.
Yeah, it's just
let's just use an example. Like, if the Ravens would have made the Super Bowl somehow with Huntley, I would have been very, very like, I'm gonna watch it and enjoy the Super Bowl, but something like that, I don't really want to watch that.
I mean, I don't blame you for that. I mean, Lamar probably would have been back, but
like, I don't have any skin in the game for either side. Like, sometimes I might favor because of, let's say, Tom Brady. I liked rooting for him if the Bears were out, etc. But this one, I think
they were always out.
It's gonna be an entertaining game. It should be just an entertaining NFL game, Super Bowl. That's, I guess, what you really want.
I agree. But looking at some numbers here from NFL or Super Bowl pasts. Looking at the last 10 Super Bowls, the favored team to win has only won 4 of the last 10. Looking back at that over-under number, 5 of the last 10 have hit, but that's also 2 of the last 7 only. You have to go back to the very edge of that 10 to get some of those to hit the overs. So, you know, these numbers are, I mean, arbitrary numbers always, but that favored win is interesting
Yeah.
to me. I don't know how, I mean, obviously this game comes down to a lot of factors, and
I don't know. It's just it overall should be a great game. I don't see how it's not. I don't see how it couldn't.
I mean, I definitely agree with that. And even if it's a low-scoring game, I mean, which this easily could be a very low-scoring game. I don't think it necessarily will be, but it could be. I think it's still, I mean, it'll probably come down to the very end of the game, low-scoring. You know, one of these two quarterbacks would have to make a game-winning drive, which, I mean, looking at the last couple of Super Bowls, it's pretty much been that, but I agree. This is one of the most one of the Super Bowls I've probably been the most excited for either team. Normally I kind of have a pick by this point with like just who I'm rooting for, but I don't really have a dog in this fight per se.
Yep, I agree with that statement.
I just like what I see in the Eagles more, just a little bit. That's what's making me lean towards them.
Yeah,
I've already stated why, but
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just an Eagles hater this year. I don't know why. It's just them. I have not been high on them all year. I know they've been the best team in the NFC most of the year. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure what it is about them. It is.
I mean, the teams that usually get hyped up the most in the Super Bowl recently have struggled, I've noticed, or have lost.
Yeah.
And Jeff was just talking about that stat, so.
That's
yeah,
true.
the last favored team. Well, the Rams were favored last year, but they did not
were
cover
they?
this. They were. It was -4 for the spread. They didn't cover it, but they won. So the favored team won. But then the year before that, KC was favored by 3 points. They lost in what you can pretty much call that a blowout. Year before, KC was favored 1.5. They won by.
Yeah, because
11.
last year I wanted the Rams to win because of personal reason, because I love Matt Stafford. But I thought they were underdogs for some reason.
Well, I think a lot of people were like knew how good of a team the Rams were, but Joe Burrow had a lot of that, and the Bengals in general had a lot of that confidence, a lot of that like, oh, like they've been on a roll. So I kind of agree that I'm surprised looking back at the data that the Rams, but because I even remember speaking of bets,
I probably knew that. I don't know.
But like that was a good game. Like overall, like the Bengals almost went on a game-winning drive. If it wasn't for the Aaron Donald and company, like there was a lot of fun plays. You know, thinking of Burrow pretty much practically throwing it up for his guys, and then like T. Higgins making plays. It was a fun Super Bowl. In some sense, low scoring. It didn't hit. The over/under was 49.5 for that game, and it was only 43. So technically a low scoring game if you look at that aspect, but.
Yeah, but there was big, intense moments in that game, though.
Yeah, and that's what you want in a Super Bowl. No matter what the score is, you want plays you'll remember. And that Super Bowl had plenty of them, and I know this one will have them. I don't know who it's going to be. If it's going to be Jalen Hurts trucking a dude, because, he's built like a linebacker, too. He can make, or is it going to be Patrick Mahomes, like his play, like he had against the Buccaneers where he's like diving, just trying to get a first down, like throw. Who's going to make the memory or the plays that you remember after it's all said and done?
Yeah, who knows? It'll be a toss-up, like we said. It's
going to be a toss-up, but looking at it now, it is time. I think it's time for us to make our picks for the game.
I think we already did.
I've stated mine 3 times.
I know, but
I'm going
to
Kansas
go along
City.
with this. Hold up, to go along with this, not only do you have to pick a winner, but you got to have a score with you. So official, Cody. I know you said the Eagles, But how do you think the final score is going to go down?
I like to predict games in the 20s, especially games like this. I think both teams have the ability to do that. I got the Eagles with 24, and I got the Chiefs with 21.
All right. I, too, have the Eagles in my prediction with 24, but I'm picking the Chiefs to have 28 points to win it.
Oh, I'm going to be the high. I got 34-28, Kansas City.
Look at that. We all had a number of the same persons. No, that means nothing, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and we had no idea.
Nope.
Yeah, and Cody, your prediction is the only one that won't hit that over. With the over being 50.5, yours is 50.
Yeah, I might be lowballing it, but
Yeah,
I liked how you picked it because they're both, perfectly capable of easily doing that.
right.
And, a lot of times with these score predictions, we don't take, those drives that kind of stall out. They got, go for field goals. Like a 24-21 game, that's like one field goal the entire game. My game, that's only 3 field goals. When, when it comes to the Super Bowl, there's always seems to be a lot more field goals in the games than touchdowns, looking at some of these scores past.
I always figure in at least one field goal for one of the teams, which definitely whichever team I know will kick it. And yeah.
That's another thing too. Both these kickers are pretty good. Jake Elliott.
Yeah. That's just where I start. And
Yeah.
go from there and where I think each team will go.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the commercials are good as the game. We'll say that.
Well, I would say probably the best commercial that was going to be airing during the Super Bowl was already released, and it's pretty good.
Wait, what commercial's that?
The Breaking Bad one with, I think the Pops or whatever it's called, chips. They pretty much,
Pops chips.
I like those popcorn chips made out of pop.
No, not the popcorn, like the air. They're like air popped chips.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Oh, those taste like not good.
Like a rice cake.
I hate those. They're so bad.
Well, apparently enough people like them where they had enough money to get those
chips
guys
are the
to.
worst.
It's a pretty funny commercial though. Like when it does air during the Super Bowl, look out for that one. Obviously, you're gonna have your Doritos, your Pepsi. You got the halftime commercial or halftime show too. Rihanna.
Usually a Budweiser commercial in there.
Yeah, you're gonna have a Budweiser too.
Doritos are the best.
Yeah, they always are.
Budweiser's always the same. It's either a truck or the horses.
And a dog.
Yeah, it's like you drink Budweiser.
The horse saves the dog from a wolf. All crazy.
Yeah. It'll be a fun Super Bowl. I can't wait to do it, or I guess I'm not doing it. I'm just watching it. I don't have any association with any team, unfortunately, but it'll be a fun watch. And for anyone who needs something to do Thursday night, come hang out, watch us play a little Madden Super Bowl. It'll be tons of fun. I think you won it last year, Brett. I think it came down to a game-winning field goal I missed or something. I don't 100% remember. I'll have to, I guess, go back. Of course, and if you can't make it, those will be uploaded. It will be uploaded to YouTube afterwards, so don't worry about it. If you want to see it that bad,
I think you beat me because you were Cincy and I was the Rams.
No, remember we did best of 3.
Okay. Maybe the first game you beat me and then I beat you the next 2, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I know we didn't do just one game and, spread it out a little bit. I know that takes a lot longer.
I remember your aunt was
watching.
Fun. I do remember that.
Yep. That's true. She was, and hopefully more watch it this year. But that's all we have for you today. Hey, let us know who you think's going to win the Super Bowl. Spread a comment and just say, hey, this team's going to win it by this score. And maybe if you get pretty close or completely on, you might went a nice high five. But that's all we got for you today. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the Super Bowl snacks, commercials. Just enjoy the experience. Have a good Super Bowl weekend, everybody.
Later.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to Audible Sportscast, your home for all things sports.